Let's take a look at what's wrong with our blueprint. Just to double check, we have this target spawned when it is true. This should stop triggering, as we do not want it to happen, so it should not trigger on spawn, it should trigger on false. And in true, nothing should happen. And we should be getting random colors unless it is already spawned for the next 3 seconds. Here we do exact same thing. We have a delay. After 3 delay, it's false again, so this all can function as it previously did. Let's take a look at our distance to gate. It is as it should be. Let's look at this, and here is the issue. We need to put it in here as well. Sample it, save it. Let's see if it works now. We only need lights closest to the gate to focus on it, which they did, but it was quite delayed. This may be mainly because we have too many timelines running at the same time. And while this playing from the start is fine, we need to stop these other events or timelines from playing when we do this, as they need to be paused or stopped. Now, the way we can do this is make sure, first of all, we have a way to interact with them. So let's add a sequence. And in that sequence, let's drag this in. When it is, well, so essentially there's a new target being located, we stop all existing timelines. First. And this should not happen on event begin play, no. This should happen on event new goal instead. So this should not happen here in false, where what you're going to do, why did I remove this? We can just pull it up here for now. This is very disorganized at the moment, but let's not waste too much time on it. Let's take this and put it here. So when new goal is triggered, these two are stopped instantly, and we get our lights to focus on the light instead. So let's do this. They show up, and let's see, do they start their random movement? No, as we did not add any additional information. So first of all, let's make sure more lights can focus the gate, as we want it to be apparent that something is going on. Next, after all of this has been finalized and we have finished our play, we need to go back, all the way back to sequence 0 here. Let's play it and let's see it again. We do this. And more lights focus on it. Now let's change some settings again. This is a very disorganized code, which we will organize later. Let's take a look at what our code does. We get our light, we get our rotation, etc. And do remember, this is per light basis, so it is not like all lights are affected at the same time. Lights that are not close enough should not be affected, so we need to change the placement for this node. If the target is spawned and if the distance to gate is true, this should trigger. And after this stops the other two, we repurpose this. And lights that are close to the new gate should function instead. Our gate focused instantly. In this case, our gates respawned here. Let's make it sure we are doing it again. We will repurpose it also again, and what we are going to do is we are going to make sure only the lights around the gate are red instead of all of them, as it doesn't serve purpose for all of them to be red. So instead what we are going to do, we are moving when this triggers, and when goal is scored. When goal is scored, all of them turning green is kind of cool. It's like cheering on. And we are going to make sure we have enough time for the lights to go green when we score. Let's go to blueprints. Let's go to our goal. And before the teleport happens, let's give it delay. And make sure we have 3 seconds of green light, so let's make it 3 seconds as well. Teleport green. So before the teleport event is called, which will call this, and all of this will happen, we will have 3 seconds of green light. I am really bad at this game. We will modify the speed on the player a bit later on. And we do this. Yes, 3 seconds of green light. Now it disappears. And after it disappears, all lights should focus on it. Yes. Now, let's see what is the issue here. This event, distance to gate, has an error. And let's see why this error happened. Our distance to gate event is called all the way over here. But for this to be functional, we don't really have a lot to go on. So let's take a look at them. Access node read probably gate. Less than 2000, we get function. So they're trying to read the node called gate. And by the way, this is now less than 3000, but it's fine. And instead of less than, let's just go less than. This is the value it's trying to read. And if we take a look at the graph, the target after new goal is created, it gets a reference for the new goal. And this reference goes through distance to gate. And if it is closer than the certain range, first of all, let's make sure our light change values are actually come after this. So we will disable this for now and get this branch node to be before all of this. So we get this distance. If it is less, we go to true. And from true, we go to do this. And from here, we go to sequence. And this sequence of operations should be more correct. Let's test it out. We have this. We drop this. We have this green. 1, 2, 3. It disappears. If they're close, they should change their color and turn red. but for some reason they did not. Now let's fix all the issues we have with this light and be done with it. The reason why this is not functioning as the way we want is because of there are multiple interactions here, just don't follow the sequence properly. So first of all, let's make sure we don't just, while we do need event begin play, we don't want to have these all nodes come all the way from all over the place every single time. So instead, let's create a custom event that we can just call. Let's call custom event, and we can just call it restart. Essentially, restart the whole operation from the very beginning. This will get triggered every time this restart is called, and we can put it here. For example, restart call function, and we are going to clean up our scene quite a lot here. We have this sequence trigger, and we have this sequence trigger from here. Go back to our distance to player. Let's make sure this, instead of going to our distance to player, goes to restart. So we will call this function here again. We can just copy this and paste this here. So this, when this whole everything here ends and it is finished, we test our distance to player, and if everything is as it should be, we restart the whole operation. Let's take a look at here again. We have restart, we have sequence that differentiates here, we have events that run, and when this all finishes, we restart our node. We stop these two events here, but instead of using this, you can create a custom event, call it stop, and we can control, my apologies, we can drag this all the way down here, and instead of having this node go all the way here, what we can do is remove this. It is true, this just follows. We use this stop node to stop this one, and we add a sequence here. We stop this one on top, and we stop this one on the bottom. Much cleaner spaghetti code. We don't have anything we really need to clean up here anymore on the bottom row, and we can just move it around a bit. And here, let's take a look. We are stopping it when we need to. We have this delay that goes all the way back to random generation. Instead, let's call our restart function again. So for it to check, there's a delay after it's all finished, and we restart everything again, and restarting everything will go through all this process once more. We'll get our new random color. This will trigger. Let's make sure everything here is inside comment section. We have double branches for distance to player and distance if the new target is available or not. This is just a cleaner way of doing it, so we don't have to get that nightmare. We could create functions, etc., to even more compact this all, but I believe it's fine. You can, by the way, alt right click and right click, hold, and move around your mouse to change your zoom levels, and everything here is fine. Now we have it organized, but let's change something. We should move this forward, and let's for now destroy our references here and unattach this. Let's drag our whole blurb, etc., rotation, everything here, it to the event graph, new goal event, and let's use our target variable and set it here. That way we don't have to re-reference the interface every single time. We get it once, and every time we need it, we just get it from the set here. And we do this for here as well. And when we play, when we are finished playing, we set the target spawned and go to restart. And before we move around the lights, we want to turn them red. As such, we are going to move in here. And after right found, we move it and we play from the start. And when this is finished, again, we target spawned, delay. And I believe we will need to modify this again just to make sure, but let's compile. Select, press play. Let's see what happens. We move our ball, everything turns green, we get new balls. Everything is focusing this. But now they're stuck on it. The reason why is this happening is because this value here. Let's see what happens again. We move it around. I'm a very bad player, so let's just drop it directly in front of it. We blast it, everything is green. It gets re-triggered. And we have them here, but they're not the correct color. So this is partially because we have a lot of restart nodes. This happens when it is finished, and it is 3 seconds. This is triggered once, and next trigger happens not in BP goal, in BP light. If we go take a look at our event goal here, 3 seconds delay, target spawned is. This is not actually re-triggering anything, but this has a delay instead. So instead of this, let's remove this, and we remove the branch here. We add this delay, but after this, let's add our restart node call, and here let's make sure we don't get our restart called when we don't need it. We have our branch going all the way here. This should never go to distance to player. This should go to branch initially, and if it is true, this should not trigger. Or let's recheck our boolean. When it is false, this should trigger. When it is true, it should not trigger. And when random rotation and generation is in place, attack the rotation, we are delaying it, we are getting distance to rotation, we are getting true. And when we get this, let's remove this from here and add additional restart node here. If it is true, compile. We have this sequence that stops these two timelines, and after they're stopped, they are not being updated real time. As such, we can just move it around a bit. We are getting active translation, and when this is finished, it checks if it is close to the player or not. If it is false, we set our rotation to default, which we don't have to do anymore because we modified our light system. And if it is false, we restart our whole light system. So let's try it again. Everything is working as it should. When I'm close to the lights, they aim at me. It put it in. And let's see how it reacts to gate. They are reacting to gate and focusing it as they should. And after it is finished playing, they should start moving around. And the reason why this is not happening is because we are not stopping this operation at any point in time. So we are updating it, and when it is finished, it's restarting. But we need to set target spawn to false before we finish it. We need to make sure it's set to false, so the lights affected by the gate can go back to being operational. We put this ball in, give the moment, it's appeared, the lights are looking at it, and the lights are functioning again, but now we have an issue of colors. Now let's fix that one as well, and we are done with the light system. When event goal is triggered, we get our target spawned, set, the lights turn green. Let's reaffirm it. We get this, done, 1, 2, but the light set trigger target player instantly change colors. Now this is happening due to a very simple reason. We have our restart node repeating this random color sequence as well. So if we just drag this down from here and put it here, this should solve all of our remaining problems. Let's get this done, and we get our green light, and our green light is here. We get our random colors and gate colors. Now we are not getting our random colors back. The reason is no event is now re-triggering get random colors, which we can quite easily do it ourselves by making sure when this sequence ends and this sequence ends here, we call an event that starts random colors. So let's call custom event, call it random color reset. Again, not the best naming sense, but we are just going to roll with it. And we are going to call this event here on the very top where we edit our light. And here, when we click the goal, in this case, we don't really have to, because after we trigger this event, we get this event on top, so we can just not restart it here, and it should work fine. We trigger this, lights follow us when we are close, gates spawn there, lights turn red around it, and they move around again. The green light here is remaining as it should, because after this green light is triggered by itself, if they are not close by, they don't get restarted. So we do need to add this green light. Reset here. Now, if we add it directly, this will kind of overwrite it. This is why understanding the sequencing in Blueprint is so important. You may think, oh, I did it already, but the sequencing itself may be an issue. They get random colors, and this one turns green. Just to make sure the rest of them remain green while the green one is being focused on, we have, let's do it, delay of 6 seconds. This has 3 seconds, and we have 3-second delay before this begins, so the lights that are not closed will turn red. And just to make sure we are being able to definitely see the green, sorry, my apologies, red, let's get the spot and set intensity. We are going to reset it again. So usually we have 40,000. Let's make it 80,000. And we will copy this again. And when we are finished and we are doing all of this, we will set it back to 40,000. So when we are done with our operation and for gate event, we get them back to it. Let's get it down. We get it in. We get our color. Where's the gate? The gate has their luminosity increased. And let's get our attenuation reduce. It's fine as well. Now the only thing to change is the color itself. And let's not make it bright red, make it darker red. Compile, play, save. And we put this in. We get our lights. Where's our gate? This is our gate. Not a lot of difference, but this should be enough. We could, and I guess we should, change the default lumen intensity level for this to 20, and let's make it shorter range so we don't get too many lights cascading all over the place. And now let's try it again. We have these lights, and suddenly we get red lights here. I guess we could make red lights remain longer, but again, this is just a matter of choice at this point, and I don't want to waste any more time on light. So we are going to stop randomizing everything on the light here now, and let's just use comments and stuff to organize it events. So score green light, and this one will be new dual targets. We're going to make this one red and this one green. Let's alt them out, see if we have anything else. We have our target, follow target, or to be specific, follow player. We have our random light movement and our random color for the lights. And this is enough. We have our new events. We are our event dispatchers that call these events. And now let's make sure we have enough balls in the scene at the beginning of the game. So what we can do, we can add no, we can leave this one on the field. This is the error message was because we have referenced it by default. We don't really need to at this point, but we can leave it in. It's not an issue. So let's just have it here. I want to spawn multiple balls during the event begin play. So let's just add a lot more balls into the scene. Just have enough balls in the scene. And what I'm going to do, because I added so many ball spawners and I don't want to actually make a balanced game. We are doing it for demonstration purposes as well. After all, what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this event n times, I'm going to add begin play. And on begin play, I will do n, essentially doing this event 3 times. And on event goal score, I will reset and do it again. So at the very beginning of the game, this will spawn a lot of balls for me to use. And if I score a goal, which is kind of hard for me for some reason, let's try it out. We add this ball and bam, we have a lot more balls. What we can also do, we can take all our ball spawners here, shift click, and put them up in the air. And I believe, let's center it a bit more. And now they will drop from the sky. And let's add them into one folder, call it all underscore spawners. I don't have to use underscore in folder names, but it's just a force of habit. And we will have one green ball at the very, and our starting gate is there, so we can just begin by placing these two here, and we can begin our game like this. And as we begin our game, we have a lot of balls to work around with. We can move them, and as we put one in, we get even more balls. And balls cannot go out of field because we have collision there. And now we have a game of infinitely generating balls until you drown in it. Now, we are done with lightning, the gate and gameplay elements, the interactions between them, and we are going to stop gameplay additions there in this course.